What is the significance of this suit?
You know, Uber's playing it hot and cold with the city. One second, it's Lyft and Juno that are suing over the minimum payment requirements, and Uber's sort of sitting on the sidelines. And now Uber's trying to fight back on the caps, which limit how many drivers it can have out on the streets. So, I think it's sort of seizing a moment where Amazon has just left New York, and it's sort of a Friday afternoon and announcing that it's going back to war with the city after a brief cooling off period.
What does that mean then for longer term plans in New York City? I mean, of course, it's been sort of many years, as you say, of this back and forth.
I think it's trying to sort of walk a fine line here where it's, this isn't a scorched earth suit. It's clearly something that Uber's felt strongly about, Uber's been pushing for congestion pricing sort of as the focus instead of a hard cap. And, it's not going to win over the mayor's office, which has pretty much had sort of a hostile relationship with the company. They don't have a very good working relationship. So I think the idea is we're not going to win over the mayor. We can fight them in court.
Now, talk to us about these financials. Losses down 15% for the full year, but still $1.8 billion.
Yeah, there are lots of ways to slice these losses. I mean, if you look at the GAAP figures, the adjusted figure, which is the 1.8 billion. But, the takeaway is that losses continue and revenue growth is slowing. And that's certainly a concern for Uber. And I think the issue here is just competition has continued. I think at every turn, Uber sort of hoped that there would be a moment where there would be less competition, and so it would be able to extract more profits. That hasn't happened. It's faced competition in Latin America. Lyft remains competitive in the United States, and that means that the cut of its top line, the gross bookings, is going down. It's harder for it to turn that money into revenue, which then translates to a challenged bottom line. And so it's competition that's hurting Uber's business, and there's no sign of it abating.
Is this going to impact their IPO process? Will it deter investors?
I think investors have a long time horizon here. They see all the areas where Uber is expanding. You talk about food delivery with Uber Eats. You talk about sort of logistics with freight. You talk about scooters and electric bikes. So Uber's done a good job of saying there's a bigger story here, and we're going to change transportation dramatically. And, to date, that's been a message that investors have been enthusiastic about. And so, if that rationalizes with the public markets with a focus on the path to profitability, I mean, that would be certainly a change of pace and is possible, and something I'm very eager to see, how the transition from sort of bullish private market investors to more skeptical public investors plays out.